Hey there, Chris and Tracy, Destination Unknown, H3-45. And a little surprise we alluded to on the last video. And I think Tracy's going to show you what we've been up to. Yep. Oops, I did it again.
This is Roma. She's 8 weeks old.
Cane Corso, purebred.
And almost 20 pounds. And this is going to be our travel partner.
She's going to be big. She's going to be a good guard dog. If you look up Cane Corsos, the big thing with them is their protective nature and their size. They're large breed dog. She likes to play. She likes to hang out. So yeah, that's kind of what we've been holding off on and thought we'd reveal to you guys.
You'll see her in our upcoming videos and while we travel.
Okay guys, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. So we're back at the three-way switch hookup. So we're going to just strip some wires. I'll try and talk you through this. So this is my light wire, the one that goes up to the light. What I've found when I'm stripping wires is if I put the knife all the way in, then I don't touch the wires that are inside. So like I was saying, this is a 14-2 wire, so that's 14 gauge wire, or the thickness of the wire is 14 gauge with two connectors. So a black and a white, those are what you call your connectors. Your ground doesn't count, so that one goes up to the light. So we're going to bring power in through this one, up to the light and back, return on the white. And then once again, this now is 14-3. So this, I don't know if I said it right, but 14-2 and then 14-3 wire. This is the only wire that you have to really be careful with because it's inside there with a bunch of other wires. So just be careful when you're getting this jacket off. That you don't nick the wires inside. Usually if you start a tear or cut and start a tear. And I probably should have had these peeled back when I put them in the box, but likely I was in a hurry when I put them in the box, just to make sure they fit. And all the wires are in there that I want. So I will tighten up the set. So 14-2. 2 wires, black, white, 14-3, 14 gauge, 3 wires. Remember, ground doesn't count, so that's a black, white, and a red. I guess this is just way too long at the moment. So get rid of that. Get rid of some of that. We'll throw our ground in first to our grounding lug in the box. Of course, can't find my tool belt, so gotta use my trusty pockets. I just find if you use needle nose for this job and then wrap it around, it's a lot easier. Okay, so plenty long enough. Okay, so power is going to go into the black. It's going to go in through the light and come back and return on the white. But what we're going to do is we're going to need a couple of traveler wires here on this one. And our neutrals are going to go together. And these two are going to be our traveler to the other switch. So I like to just get the neutrals out of the way first. And then I always just use a pair of needle nose for giving them a twist away from me. When you twist them away from you, it seems like that's the correct way to go. And then this is going to attach to our switch. Sorry, we're on a busy street, bikes going by. I can see a mistake I made already. I thought I was putting that to the switch, but it's not going to the switch. These are going to the switch. These are going to each other. Then we get a moirette, or I guess it's not really called a moirette, but a brand name, but a connector. I just like to just twist them with a pair of pliers first. It gives it a good, decent grab on the wire. Cut the wire. Down. So now the white's gone. It's out of our hair. We don't need to deal with it anymore. Because white's always going to be your neutral, your return. In my case, it's always my neutral and return. It just depends on where you put the line voltage in. So here's that switch. Black terminal, copper terminal, traveler, copper terminal, traveler, of course ground. So our black is always going to be line or power. So our power to the light is this one. We're going to put that on there. I just like to give these a quick bend. Make sure they're going the same way the screw tightens up. And then travelers, it doesn't matter where they go, as long as they're on there. That's your three-way switch. So tuck everything in. Like I said in an earlier video, copper is the top. The words top are also written here. So with a three-way switch, it really doesn't matter too much. It's just nice to have it uniform, because really the switch could be on and still in the off position, or the light could be on but the switch is still in the off position. it's hot here today. We got a heat warning here in Alberta, so central Alberta, that's where I live. Live right on the lake, and yeah, boats in the water, and we'll be boating for sure in the next few days. Okay, so three-way switch for the bathroom is in. I'm going to bring you over to the kitchen area, and I'll hook up the other side to this switch, the other switch. Okay, so here we are at the kitchen side. I know it looks a little intense because there's a whole pile of wires in here, but what I've done is I've labeled it. So this is a line wire, right line in there for main power. You can write main power in or whatever you want to write. So this is the pot lights for the living room, so I don't need to worry about that. What I've done is I put a three-way switch with that one too. So those two are going to go together there. That's living room pot lights. This one here is three-way switch bathroom, so that can go with the line voltage if we want. Pretty easy. And then this one here is LED living room, so there's some LED lights there. And then another line voltage there. So today we're not worried about anything other than these two. So we have the same configuration. We have a 14-2 wire, and we have a three-way wire. This is the three-way wire that was over at the other side, and what we've done is I've just dropped it down below the coach and then come back up here, so it's the same wire. This is what's going to travel over to that other side. And then line voltage, so this is the main voltage in from the generator or my power box basically. So we hook it up in very similarly the same manner. And we'll do that here right now. Let me show you. Just get everything out of the way, just to make double sure. Three-way bathroom, yep. I don't want to hook the wrong wire up to the wrong thing. There we go, yeah, that's what I was trying to do. Normally when you put that in, it just easily splits, so that's cut off some wire about the same distance. Let's get rid of our coppers. So what I'm going to do is just going to hook my whites up to there, just pretty much for demonstration purposes here. I'll show you that. Normally in a box like this, if you have more than one, or if you have just one line voltage coming in, all your whites would go together. In my case, because my line voltage is a separate line, I'm going to hook this up independently with the rest of this, and yeah, kind of go for there. On this other plug here, I've ran another line voltage into there, so it's going to have its own separate voltage. The bathroom's going to have its own separate voltage draw, 15 amp breaker, and this section here is going to have its own separate. So I've tried to separate it out as best I could, but still keeping in mind my power, my breaker room basically. So I think I bought a 20 space breaker panel, and I've got some doubles in there, so that means two 15 amp breakers on the same position in the panel. So we're just, like I said, whites always go together. then this way here, I can just get them out of the way. I don't have to worry about it anymore. Let's put that down. And I can get rid of my grounds. If you kind of look at electricity like a flow of water, let's say, it has to start somewhere and it has to end somewhere. So, you know, it starts at your panel box, let's say, and it ends at the ground or earth via the white neutral wire. So that's out of the way. I probably have way too much wire here, but sometimes it's not a bad thing to have wire simply for if you need to make adjustments, or let's say I cut the wire wrong and you know, I cut the wire wrong, so I had to cut it again, trim it down. So every time you trim it, the wire gets shorter and shorter, and if you don't have wire behind the panel or behind your wall, you're in trouble. So normally what I would do in a house is I would leave a loop of wire here behind the panel so that if I could undo this, I could pull my wire out. But with the bus and the Romex, and I've never done it on a bus before, people have said, you know, about the bus moving and the wire moving because it's a solid wire. So I kind of took that into consideration when I was doing the build, and I made it extremely tight and behind the wall, so I don't have any extra. So once again, we have copper, black. So black is going to be your main line voltage, and then these two are going to be your travelers. So your copper is going to be your traveler wires. Just double check, make sure that's my line voltage coming in, and it is. Gets connected to my line, and then travelers get connected up here. Oh, I guess I got my copper yet to do. Shrink that a little bit. Give it a bit of a bend. Put it on my negative or sorry, my copper, my ground terminal and my plug. Okay, there we go. So we're just going to try and top the plug, try and fold everything as neat and tidy as we can in here. And there's our three-way. There's the bathroom three-way switch hooked up. Looks like I have a straight wire there. So then I just, for most part, you gotta kind of leave these loose so that when you put that cap on or that cover, they they'll be in the right position for that. Okay, so we're going to do something a little different on this one, I guess. Here's my LED. So we're going to keep those separate. This is my pot lighting. So what this does is it's going to go to the roof in the living room, and that's going to give me power, or that's going to give me living room lighting. This goes up to the light. This is the actual three-way wire that's going to go into the front of the coach, the stepwell. So then I'm going to take my line and we're going to adjust all, or attach all these at the same time. I'm also going to switch for the LED. So I'm going to have another three-way switch, and I'm going to have a regular switch for my LED lighting. That's just going to be my feature lighting here in the living room. So we're going to start stripping wires and doing that. Okay, so we're going to do this kind of slowly because it's not the same. Because I'm bringing the power source to, in a different way. I'm bringing it to the actual light, basically. Instead of having the power source and the other one come a completely different way. So I'm going to pigtail off this because I'm going to attach a switch to that. So that will give me line voltage. This is going to be LEDs. So LED living room. So what I'm going to do so that I don't get confused, I'm going to put the switch on this immediately, so I know which one is which. So pause while I go get a switch. Okay, so back to the regular switch. I don't need these wires to be as long. These are line wires. These are light wires, so of course light's going to go with white. This is going to be a switched power. So regular switch in the pocket. On top of the switch. Okay, so then my main black line wire that I'm going to use 2 times is going to come here, because I need this to power this switch, and I also need it to power So I'm going to keep the pigtail from it. I needed to also power my 3-way lights for the living room. So we're going to go here. We're going to go here so that I don't get confused. I know which is which. I lost the pliers now. Okay, so now we have that attached to there, so we know that that's our line voltage at the bottom of the switch. Okay, so now we're going to open up our 3-way wire that's going to continue on. Oh, sorry, 3-way wires. This is the living room light. We're going to open this up. Oh yeah, missing tools now, dropping stuff. There we go. Okay, so this is going to go to the pot lights. Let's give her to ground. Leave it for a moment. So, 3-way black, and in this case our power black are now going to go together. So there's our 3-way black and our power black. This is where it's going to get a little confusing. Because we're bringing power into the bottom, so we're going to hook this up to here. So we're just going to push into that tab. So now I've got power coming into my 3-way wire. Okay. My white 3-way wire is actually going to be my black power that goes over to there. These are all going to get connected. This is the light, or the wire to the light. So I'm gonna get the 3-way switch now. Back with the 3-way switch. So same thing. You got a couple of traveler wires, and you have the hot leg to your light. So this is the hot leg to my light. We're going to put that onto your hot leg to your 3-way switch. Same thing, always put it the way the screw turns. And now your travelers to the front of the bus are now going to be white and red. So I know before I always said that your whites are always your return. Just on this, in this case, we're using them now as travelers to the front of the coach. When does it turn into a coach? Is it a coach now, or does it turn into a coach when I have furniture in it? I never know. I just like the word coach, so I try and say that more. So these are my travelers. And they go in here as traveler wire. So what we can do, and I'll maybe do that, is because now this is a black wire, I'm going to put some black tape on that. Traveler wire. And then this is now my traveler wire as well. Okay, so there's my three-way switch hooked up. Now I just have to go to the front of the coach and do that. Here's my other switch on and off. That's going to power my lights. And we're going to put all of our lights for this leg now together. 1, 2, 3. Okay, big pliers. And just trim. And then blue mark. I guess not a mark, but a connector. Oh, it's awesome that we get to listen to everybody else's music around here. Crank. I like my music going, that's for sure, but I don't really need to hear yours in your truck because it's not near as good as mine. So, and then coppers. So what we can do is just grab one copper here. And then we can just mark the rest if we want. Pliers. Copper, you can twist them together with your pliers, I guess, but it's not the end of the world if you don't. They usually go together pretty well. Hold them in nice and tight so they don't touch anything. And there you go. Regular switch, on off, three-way wire, on off.